Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome in and welcome back to another episode of the Spoiler Alert podcast. We've been away for a little bit, a lot has happened. We have our sad, disgusting Super Bowl matchup that nobody wants.
Nobody.
I got my fucking ass whipped in a jiu-jitsu tournament. I did get third, so I got a medal, so that's kind of cool, but got the piss beat out of me, which hurt a lot. So that was fun, I guess. But now we are back. We are back. Episode 60, Ty.
That's crazy. Can't believe it.
Yeah, episode 60, and this is going to be our second annual award show. So we're going to do our award show along with our most anticipated and unanticipated movies. Ty and I are each going to pick 5. I have a little more than 5 in my unanticipated because I feel like I just got to mention how unexcited I am about them. But Ty, we got an action-packed episode. We might as well just get going.
We really do.
So let's hop into upcoming movies. There's only 2 here, and I'm going to be quick about it. Dogman, half dog and half man, sworn to protect and serve, as he doggedly, I guess it's a word, pursues the feline supervillain Petey the Cat, who is played by, of course, Pete Davidson. It's Isla Fisher, Billy Boyd from Lord of the Rings, Stephen Root, who we all know is Bill Dauterive from King of the Hill, Young Gravy, and Dogman is the same guy who wrote the Captain Underpants books. So
I was going to say this is a Dave Pilkey joint.
That's right. You know, he hit up all of our Scholastic book fairs back in the day, and he's still going.
Made hella money off me back in the day. I remember they had like a little flip section where you'd flip the pages back and forth. It would make it look like they were doing something.
I do.
These books were fucking awesome.
He's a man.
Dogman's probably the shit.
It probably is.
Who plays Dogman? Oh, is it Pete Davidson? That's Dogman?
No. Pete Davidson's Petey the Cat.
Okay.
Dogman is like actually nobody famous. It's the writer and director that is playing the Dogman voice. And that is let me find his damn name. Peter Hastings.
Okay, I was gonna say I bet he's just got a really good like voice, just to be like, hey, I'm Dogman, you know.
But he's worked on the Animaniacs. He produced the Animaniacs back in the 90s. He did Pinky and the Brain, also back in the 90s. The Kung Fu Panda TV series, which I didn't know existed.
Me either.
But yeah, just a lot of random animated things, mostly as a producer. He does have some writing credits, not a ton, but this will be his first acting credit.
Yeah, I mean, this looks awesome. I wish my nieces were a little bit older, so I'd take them to go see this. I really want to see this. The animation looks great. It's very nostalgic for
really
that
fun
Captain Underpants era. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's fun. Not too bad reviews so far. It's 7.1 on IMDb. That's not bad.
Yeah, not horrible, and it's not even out yet. So who knows how that would change.
This movie's definitely not for us or probably for anybody in our audience even, but you know, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing, you know, when I just want to take a break, not be watch something sad or too serious. Give me an animated movie.
For sure.
Next film here, Love Me. This looks highly stupid, but it's called Love Me, a post-apocalyptic romance in which a buoy and a satellite meet online and fall in love after the end of human civilization. Only 2 people in this film, Kirsten Stewart and Stephen Yeun. This, you know, when there's only 2 people in a movie, you need at least one of them to be able to carry the movie on their own, and I don't think either one of them can.
Right. I like both these people as actors, but I don't think either of them is like really gonna be able to hold this down. This was one that was kind of on my list just because of how ridiculous it sounded, and then I started to think about the time that So Was Sasquatch Sunset. That sounded cool and interesting. This is probably just 2 people talking in front of a screen for not even in front of a screen, a buoy in a whatever talking. Yeah. And there's going to be like, you can tell just from the trailer, that's just them talking, and then they show clips of stuff, and they probably fantasize what they look like and stuff like that. And it's just talking for the whole movie. So I do want to see it, but I'm looking at the Metacritic score 53. That's not great. 5.3 out of 10 IMDb. And I'm probably even a little bit more harsh than that would be. So I might have to skip this one. But it does sound interesting. It sounds like it could either be like a little bit funny and interesting or just really, really boring.
Yeah. 100%. Written and produced and directed by Andrew and Sam Zucchero, who have done pretty much nothing. It actually looks like this was like a short film, and now somehow they got famous people to take part in it. So that's what we got going on here. Don't care about it at all. But, you know, Dogman's coming out, so that might be interesting.
Right. Yeah, I bet Dogman runs away with it this weekend. Oh, I guess Companions did come out technically this weekend too, so
that's true. I
that
might take put that. on the upcoming movies, but we did that last episode because I guess it had a limited release first.
Yeah, I think it
And
did
now
too.
it's wide.
Spoiler alert, it's solid. It wasn't anything special. I'll probably just, I mean, it's not even worth going into a whole episode, whole next episode about it. I gave it a 7. It was solid.
There you go.
So
that reminds me, I got to make our new tab on the sheet so we can start tracking again.
I was going to say, that's why it's the most exciting time of the year, because we're starting our brand new page of like movie scores and rankings.
That's right.
I've already seen 4 this year. Pumping those numbers up.
Any news? Well, I do see some news here. One I'm excited about. The rest,
yeah,
we'll find out.
I cut down a lot of stuff. There was like a lot of just random little tidbits of news, nothing crazy. I kept the couple biggest ones. The first being that Terrifier 4 is being confirmed written by writer-director Damien Leone. He said it on Twitter. I guess it was his birthday. He said, "Thank you for the birthday wishes. Figured I'd give you a present in return. The script for Terrifier 4 is in the works, and it's shaping up to be a most epic, thrilling, nasty, horrifying, emotional, and utterly satisfying conclusion," he said. Then he said, "P.S. I will finally reveal Art's origin." But before this, he also suggested there could be more films beyond Terrifier 4, depending on how much story he can fit into a single movie. So no official release date yet, but I would be shocked if 4 is actually the last movie. Just look at how many Friday the 13th and Halloweens there have been. These movies are way too popular, and they make a killing compared to their budget for them to stop right now. So I'd be surprised if 4 is actually the end. We're getting a new M. Night Shyamalan movie here. This one's going to be starring Jake Gyllenhaal. This is kind of different, though. So it's a supernatural romantic thriller, which I don't even know what that means, but it's based on an original story co-created by M. Night Shyamalan and Nicholas Sparks, who I'm pretty sure he writes like romance novels.
Yeah.
But so listen to this. This is what makes it different. They're both independently writing a screenplay and a novel, each in their own medium, based on the original love story. Both projects will be based on the same concept and set of characters, but be tailored to their respective mediums. So I wonder if the book's going to be different from the movie and whatever. Definitely an interesting idea. We'll see how that plays out. I didn't hate Trap. That was his newest movie before this. So we'll see if Jake Gyllenhaal and M. Night makes a good combo or not. And then the last thing here before we get into like the biggest part of news, Robert Eggers already has his next 2 films set up here. He just did Nosferatu, which got an Oscar nomination for cinematography, costume design, and production, and makeup. So it got a couple different Oscar nominations, but he's making another movie kind of in the same genre as Nosferatu. It's going to be a werewolf movie, and it's called Werewolf, but it's spelled funny. He co-wrote it with the guy that he wrote The Northman with, and it's going to come out Christmas Day 2026. I just guarantee already it's going to be 10 times better than Wolfman. Saw that. Terrible. Bad movie. But alongside this, he's also set to make a sequel to the Labyrinth movie, which I never saw the movie Labyrinth back in the day. It was kind of came out before we were really around, before we were in our time. Right? David Bowie, yep.
Yeah. I had to watch it in fucking English class in 7th grade.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's like, why I know bits and pieces of it, but I never actually seen it. But yeah, it came out in 1986, so never saw it, never a big Labyrinth guy, but damn near 40 years later or whatever, we're getting a sequel. Right. Anything Robert Eggers does is pretty much going to be on my radar, though, so I guess I'll probably end up seeing that one. And then the last bit of news here is we got our Oscar nominations. Most of them, I think we probably kind of assumed, but there's some surprises here and some snubs as well. But it's only fitting that we talk about the Oscar nominations while we give out our awards as well. Somehow, this is shocking. Amelia Perez leads with 13 nominations, which is just ridiculous. It's not even very well reviewed by critics, and audiences hate it. It's got a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's getting more backlash for how many Oscar nominations it has than praise whenever it came out. It's definitely the lowest reviewed movie out of all the Best Picture nominees, and it somehow got the most nominations. Even the people that this movie was trying to cater to, like woke Hollywood in Mexican and LGBTQ communities, they are actively turned off by the movie for stereotypes and for stereotypes about Mexicans and trans people. I wouldn't know. I didn't see it. I don't want to waste my time, but yeah, I mean, this just all comes down to Hollywood being Hollywood and voting for this for, I don't know, use your imagination. But any wins this movie gets will just feel like participation awards at this point, because it's not deserving in my eyes. And I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. Just compared to a lot of the other movies it's going up against, it's not good.
Well, it's that movie when I started it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? And I could not make it through, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, you're not in the minority there at all. You're in the majority.
people can mock and be like, well, you didn't watch it the whole way. You might have missed out. I'm like, I didn't. I know I didn't.
Right.
I've heard the song. That's enough.
Yeah. And funny enough, this year they're not playing the original songs that get nominated for the Oscars. They're not playing them live this year because probably nobody wanted to hear the music from this movie because it sucks. But anyways, here are the categories and the nominees. I'm just going to keep it short and stick to the same, I don't know, 5 or so you don't have to keep hearing me say the same things over and over again. For Best Picture here, we got Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. I'm surprised with a couple here. I'm surprised Substance got nominated for Best Picture, and I'm also surprised Wicked did. But I'm not too surprised about Wicked. I mean, people love it. For directing here, this is what really threw me off. I don't even know how to say his name, but the guy that directed Emilia Perez somehow got an award nom over Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2. This is shocking. But alongside him, we have Sean Baker for Anora, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist. I don't know how to say that lady's name, and it sounds kind of bad. For The Substance, look it up. It sounds like a word I'm not allowed to say. And James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. For actor in a leading role, we have Adrian Brody, which there's some, have you heard about this drama with Adrian Brody and The Brutalist? So apparently one of the producers or writers or somebody mentioned that they used AI to help with his accent.
Yes, yeah.
And now it's become a shitstorm about it. So now people aren't expecting him to win the actor. I hope it goes to Timothée Chalamet,
yes,
who was nominated for A Complete Unknown. We have Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, which I still haven't seen that one. Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, which I didn't see as well. And then Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, which that kind of seems like a little bit of a shocker there.
Well, Hollywood hates Trump, so.
Right. Actress in a leading role, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gaston for Emilia Perez, Boo, Mikey Madison, Anora, Demi Moore, The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here, which didn't come out yet, but we already both decided we won't see it. Actor in a supporting role, which I think is the strongest category in my opinion, Yura Borisov for Anora. He was great. Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, which I still didn't see. Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, which in my opinion, I think he probably should win it. And Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice as well. Shit, there's a couple more here. Actress in a supporting role, Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. For writing, adapted screenplay, we have A Complete Unknown, which I have that book now. Bob Dylan Goes Electric. A Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, which didn't see that one either, and Sing Sing. Writing for original screenplay, we got Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5th, which, what is that movie?
My brother actually saw it. It's a true story of like a terrorist attack during the Olympics.
Oh.
He thought it was okay, but I don't know why it's, up there.
Huh.
During this 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich, Germany, American sports broadcasting team must adapt to live coverage as covering the Israeli athletes being held hostage by a terrorist group.
Oh, okay. That would be why I haven't really heard of it. And then also The Substance, animated feature film here, which there's one of them that I still need to watch. Flow, I guess 2, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, which I don't know what that is, but it sounds funny.
Watched it last night.
Was it good?
It was.
Okay.
It's weird. It's super fucking weird, but it is good. We'll be hearing about it a little later.
Oh, okay. And then we have Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, which I think that just came out on Netflix. I haven't watched it though. Yeah. There's just something about those movies that like give me the creeps a little bit. I think it's the claymation and the eyeballs. Yeah, it's terrifying. And then The Wild Robot, which you've had nothing but good things to say about, so I got to watch that one. And then for cinematography here, we have The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, which don't know what it is, and Nosferatu, which I honestly hope Nosferatu wins, but I feel like this is a kind of stacked category. I'd also like to see Dune win or The Brutalist, because The Brutalist cinematography was great. And we'll talk about that movie a little bit from now, too, I'm sure. And that's it. That's Oscar noms. That's news.
Okay. Well, let's hop into let's start with most anticipated. We'll start with the good, then we'll get to the bad.
Getting to the bad will be fun.
Yeah, usually is. But we can start with our most anticipated here. We picked our 5. And Ty, as I go through my 5, maybe, stop me and say if any of those are also yours. But the first one here, it doesn't even have a name yet. But It is Trey Parker and Matt Stone, creators of South Park. They're making a movie with Kendrick Lamar.
That's wild.
So that just sounds great to me. Like, I will watch anything Matt Stone, Trey Parker, but super fucking random to throw Kendrick Lamar in there. So I don't know if it'll be the best movie, but definitely near the top of my list for most anticipated, because that's just interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be great. And Kendrick Lamar, dude's just on top of the world right now. I mean, Super Bowl halftime show. I can't wait to be watching that with my family and everybody's going to say, who is this guy?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's
going to be like, this is
halftime shows.
This is the worst halftime show ever.
Every year it's the worst.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just going to go up there and roast Drake for 30 minutes. It's going to be hilarious.
I'm a pedophile on live TV for millions of people.
They're going to be super excited for that. Next one here for me, Ty. It's called the Alto Knights. You know, we love our true crime. We love our mafia movies. I just have been rewatching The Sopranos here. I'm on the final season yet again.
Hell yeah.
But Vito, God, Genovese, that's embarrassing. I should be embarrassed. And Frank Costello, a pair of Italian Americans who run two separate crime families in the mid 20th century. Genovese attempted to assassinate Costello in 1957, although Costello retired from the mob. So we got another mob movie with Robert De Niro coming in here. So he's I am excited here. It's also written by Nicholas Pileggi, who wrote Goodfellas and Casino.
Oh, wow.
So it's up there in good company. So I am super excited for this. It was originally, I think, supposed to be called Wise Guy, and they changed the name because Wise Guy was the book written by Nicholas Pileggi that turned into the Goodfellas. So this is a completely different story. Of course, they couldn't call it the Wise Guy. Everyone would get very confused.
I mean, yeah, count me in for that one too. I didn't even hear about this one, and I'm in.
Yeah, couple months, Ty. It's coming soon, March 21st.
Nice. There's a couple coming up here within the next 2 months that are like, I have two on my list that come out within the next couple months.
Yeah, I think we are kind of front loaded this year.
I think so too. Usually that's not the case.
Yeah, it was the complete inverse of 2024, where all the big movies came out later, you know, except probably Dune.
Yeah, I think so.
But third one here, Mickey 17. We get another Boone movie here. That's on yours too?
Yep, that's actually, I kind of went by chronological order here just because it's one of the, technically it would be second on my list, but yeah, cannot wait for this one. It's his follow-up to Parasite, his first theatrical release since Parasite. And I love Robert Pattinson too, so I can't wait. And like I said, thankfully we don't have to wait too long for this one because I think it's going to be awesome. It could be, I think this has top 5 potential, honestly.
I think so too. Bong, I mean, all he's done is make great shit.
Yep, Snowpiercer 2, awesome. Parasite, by far, so
insane. Good. And so that was probably one of the last Oscar winners for Best Picture that I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. You know, it's tough now. A lot of times you're just like, I don't know about that one, but that one felt good. Did you hear that Robert Pattinson did his voice based off of Steve-O?
I did, and you can kind of tell in the trailers too. That's really funny.
It's really funny.
Yeah, that's great.
Fourth one here on my list, The Accountant 2. I'm not usually one for sequels or Ben Affleck, but The Accountant is one of Ben Affleck's movies that was actually extremely good, so I'm fine with there being another one.
Yeah, I never actually saw the first Accountant.
First one's great.
Okay.
Yeah, first one's great. And then finally, this was on the list last year as well, but Saw 11. Listen, it may not be the best, and it doesn't have to be. I'm highly excited for it, and I'm going to see it. You can't stop me.
Yep, it's going to be good. I know it will be. The last one was really good.
It was, yeah.
So I'm sure we're just going to hopefully go up from there. It would suck if it went backwards, kind of like Terrifier 3 went backwards from 2. But
fucked up there.
So mine this year.
Yeah, any I missed. I was just going to ask, any that I missed that you have?
I have a couple honorable mentions, but the ones that I missed or that you didn't say that are on mine, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Yeah. This one just speaks for itself. Dead Reckoning was awesome, and the way it ended, and it just can't come soon enough. Might be his last Mission Impossible movie, but I really hope not because I could watch these movies forever.
Is this the one where is he actually getting to go in space?
I think that's for a different movie, but I
Different
wouldn't be
movie, okay.
surprised. Yeah, I think it's for a movie that he's doing with. I'm not sure. I think that one might come out this year too, or maybe it's next year. I'm not sure, but I know what you're talking about. On this one here, just tossing it in because I'm hoping it can be a good reset for Marvel that we all kind of want and need at this point. Because I'm kind of out on Marvel, honestly, but it's the Fantastic Four. I don't care much for the new Captain America movie, and I might talk about that really soon here. Thunderbolts is kind of interesting, but we've seen that kind of idea before with Suicide Squad twice. So I'm just really hoping Fantastic Four can kick off the next phase of Marvel and lead us into these Avengers movies strong, because I am excited for those. I'm excited to see if the Russos can pull off what they did again with Infinity War and Endgame, but we shall see. And I think that all starts with Fantastic Four. Two more here. Wicked for Good. Wicked might have just been one of my favorites of the entire year last year. Definitely was a surprise. Getting the sequel sooner rather than later is going to be great instead of having to wait. And then this one might be, honestly, my most anticipated movie. And it comes out at the end of next month, just about a month from now. It's The Monkey. It's Osgood Perkins. It's Osgood Perkins' follow-up to Long Legs, and he's adapting a Stephen King story. So this already sounds like potential horror movie of the year candidate. It's about twin brothers, Bill and Hal, that find their father's old monkey toy in the attic, and then a series of gruesome deaths start. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be crazy. Stephen King liked it. Usually he doesn't like shit of his that gets adapted, but he did like this one, and the trailer looked great. Osgood Perkins, his hype is through the roof right now after Long Legs. I can't wait.
Yeah, I had that on my list as well, but I had to cut down to 5.
Yeah, I do have a couple honorable mentions here. I think I have 3 or 4 honorable mentions. I'll just go through them real quick.
Yeah.
This one's called, I think it's called Bugonia. It's Yorgos Lanthimos' follow-up to Kinds of Kindness, which was the follow-up to Poor Things, which I really liked. Still never saw Kinds of Kindness, but apparently it's a science fiction comedy about 2 young men who are motivated by a strange belief that a CEO of a company is actually an extraterrestrial sent on destroying the world, so they kidnap her. It sounds ridiculous as hell. So it has Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons in it. It sounds hilarious.
Dog has to be the alien.
Yeah, for sure. It's probably like they're both aliens or something like that. But yeah, Dog, Emma Stone, going to be a banger. Another one here, Death of a Unicorn. I keep seeing this trailer every time I go to the theaters. It's an A24 movie. It's got Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. And a father and daughter run over a unicorn with their car. And then crazy shit from there happens. So it's supposed to be, it looks funny. We'll see. 2 more here, just honorable mentions. Wake Up Dead Man, the next Knives Out movie with Benoit Blanc, dropping on Netflix. I think in fall, they said. It just came out today that it's dropping in fall, which this was on my list before I saw that it was coming out in the fall. Book it. Can't wait to see it. Those have all been solid. And then Ballerina, the next installment in the John Wick universe. I love Ana de Armas, and I love all the John Wick movies, so this sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah, I had that one on my list as well here before narrowing it down. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. The TV show wasn't anything fantastic. It was interesting, but it wasn't John Wick.
Yeah, I never got into the TV show, surprisingly, which I probably should have. But yeah, if it wasn't worth it, then I still have plenty of other stuff to watch in the meantime. Yeah. We started that American Prime Evil. Did you watch that?
I haven't yet. That is on my list. I'm burning through Sopranos. Severance just started back up again. So we've been watching that.
Yeah, it's been solid. I think we have 1 episode left. It's only 6 episodes, so it's not too bad. A couple day binger.
6. So let's hop into the most unanticipated. I cheated here. I did not do 5. There was just a lot that I'm not excited about. So
yeah, I think we're definitely gonna have a lot of the same ones too.
So you briefly touched upon it, but yeah, Captain America: Brave New World. I just don't care.
Yep, I am so checked out on Marvel for the time being.
And in that same vein, Thunderbolts again. It's like you're taking the lower end characters that nobody cares about and putting them all together, thinking that makes a better movie. It doesn't.
Okay, so, yeah, and for sure, the trailer kind of doesn't look like it's gonna. I think Thunderbolts is gonna be better than Captain America, but I'm also wondering why they're doing like the whole asterisk thing. Like they're not actually gonna be called Thunderbolts; they're gonna be called something different. Probably gonna be called like the Dark Avengers or something stupid like that. I would almost guarantee it. But yeah, definitely not excited to see the new Captain America movie. I probably will see it, even though I don't want to.
That's exactly the thing, right? We're gonna see them, but we don't want to.
One thing I did see about the new Captain America is that apparently it does have a small budget, so it's not going to bomb. Pretty much, since it's Captain America and Marvel, it will make its money back. But at least they learn. Saying it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah. This one's going to be absolutely horrid. It's Snow White.
Yep.
That is
Same.
off the list.
Those are my
One.
2, 1, 2. Yep. There's
Like,
so much
no.
source material. They could have done so much better by this, and it just looks awful. Everything about it looks awful.
The problem is they're just like purposely pissing people off for
Yeah.
whatever reason. And it's like, whatever you believe, whatever. I don't give a shit. Live your life, be you. But like when it comes to a movie and you're doing that and then it's gonna shit the bed, you can't be mad.
No, not at
And
all.
they're gonna be mad and they're gonna blame it on whatever illogical reasons they have. Don't give a fuck about that movie at all. Minecraft movie, this is just Jack Black being Jack Black and Jason Momoa being Jason Momoa. There's no substance at all.
Our 1, 2, 3 have both been exactly the same.
There we go.
Never really been a big Minecraft guy either, which probably doesn't help. But this is definitely just catered for kids. They're just gonna have Jack Black be, the same guy he always is, goofy, big, fat dude.
Exactly.
And I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of gags about how fucking fat he is or something like that.
And Jason Momoa is just The Rock 2.0.
Yep.
Karate Kid Legends. Listen, Guilty Pleasure is the Cobra Kai series on Netflix. I watch all that all the time. It's a silly teen drama, but Karate Kid, it just never really fully landed with me. Even like the OGs, you watch those with your parents because there's the 80s movie. You're like, that was kind of cool, I guess. And then they redid it with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. And now they're like, okay, remember what I said about the Thunderbolts where you're taking like everyone and putting it together and you're like, that's going to make it a better movie? This is kind of the same thing. They're making the Karate Kid and I think it's going to be, well, Miyagi's dead. So I think it's Christ, why can't I think of his name? Karate Kid. We're bringing in Jackie Chan, who was the one that trained Jaden Smith.
Ralph Macchio.
Macchio, thank you. And then, they're just bringing everyone together. Like, oh, we can both train him and he'll be mega good. I don't care. I don't care. And I think a lot of children also don't care, which is who the audience is.
Yeah, that one didn't make my list, but it was right off my list. I didn't even think about it at the time. Never been a Karate Kid guy or their whole universe there, so definitely on my list too.
Jackie Chan, however, I just rewatched Rush Hour 1 and 2. Those movies rule. They're so good.
Another one, Shanghai Noon. That movie is so fucking good.
Yeah,
that movie. I want to rewatch that soon because it's so good. I want to see how well it holds up. I just know it's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, Rush Hour, Chris Tucker is a man.
The man.
Dirty Dancing 2, it's not that I don't think it'll be bad. It's another thing where it's like 30 years too late.
Right. Yeah.
Patrick Swayze's dead. Like, how is this a sequel?
Who's going to be the stud in this one?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know because they have one person listed in the movie so far. And it is just a female. And I don't even think she's the lead. Jennifer Grey. Yeah, no way she's the lead. She's old. So I don't know. Jennifer Grey was the main girl in the first Dirty Dancing. So she's making a comeback, but what the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Without Patrick Swayze. They just need to get Julian from Trailer Park Boys. He's Patrick Swayze. Freakier Friday. They're just trying to revive Lindsay Lohan. Yep. She's doing a bunch of shitty rom-coms on Netflix.
That one was on my list too. Who is this movie for? The people that were old enough to enjoy this from the first time it came out are our age now, and the kids don't care about it now, and we don't care about it now. So who is this movie for?
Yeah. And it's going to be the same deal. It's going to come out and they'll be like, oh, this movie made $0.
Right.
Angry. Quit making garbage.
So our lists have been spot on the same, except for instead of Karate Kid, I have the one I just showed you, I Heart Willie. Everything about this is bad. The title, the tagline. For those who don't know, this is a Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse inspired horror movie. The tagline is, it started with a mouse boy. So they're definitely just trying to cash in on that Mickey Mouse IP like the Blood and Honey guys are. But not as good as the Blood and Honey guys are somehow, which isn't even good. They're doing bad. This is somehow going to be worse than bad. The plot also just sounds ridiculous. An obsessed psychopath unknowingly leads her friends into a deadly mousetrap where pure evil seeks to harvest their skin in this horrifying story of the most beloved cartoon character of modern times. This also doesn't make sense because from this plot line, it sounds like the girl is obsessed with Mickey. An obsessed psychopath unknowingly leads her friends to a deadly mousetrap. So I don't know. Weird, not going to be good. The trailer was really bad, and a lot of people were laughing at it whenever I went and saw Peter Pan.
You got an actual. Oh, okay. For Peter, that makes sense. Never mind.
Yeah,
I was
they
gonna say,
only
like,
show these trailers during like bad movies and like stuff that they think people might come see it if they see the trailer for. So yeah,
beautiful. My last two, Thread and Insidious Tale. Insidious burned its last bridge with that other movie that was garbage. I don't want another one.
yeah, no.
And then Avatar, Fire and Ash. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either, but I was kind of surprised with two. I didn't mind it, so I think this one will probably be like the same. I'll be like, oh, it's gonna be lame, and I'll end up probably liking it a little bit. So
Just
we'll
so
see.
long.
Right, they are so long.
Yeah.
The story's kind of weird and all that, but I'll see it.
It's again one of those things where I'm not expecting it to be bad. I just don't care.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. Ty, any others that I didn't hit?
I don't think so. I think we pretty much are in the same boat here with the most unanticipated.
Awesome. Then let's get into a game with Billy.
It wouldn't be a best of the year, worst of the year episode without it.
That's right. So let's throw this on here. Ty, it's all going to be about us and the show and our ratings.
See how well we know. I know. See how well I know.
See how well, yeah, I know the answers. I can't participate. That's cheating. But Ty, let's just start it off with this. How many episodes did we release in 2024?
In 2024, well, I know apparently this is 60 now. So trying to think how many we would have done the year before.
Oh, you know what? Well, let's do this sportsbook style. Over under 20.
Over under 20. I'll say over.
It was under. We released 18 episodes.
Okay, that was close. I was thinking it might have been right around 20.
Yeah, because I had that whole month I was out.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we didn't get many through there, and I was moving. So there was a lot of times we just couldn't record.
Yep.
Next question here. How many movies combined have we seen this year? I'll set another line. I'm going to set the line here at 90. Over under 90.
Got to be over 90.
It is barely 98.
Figured it was right around there, something like that. I'm trying to think how many. I'm gonna look at my letterbox here and see how many films I logged. That's gonna be hard. Never mind. It's already on to the next year.
They get rid of it. Yeah, it's really stupid. I've tried that before, but I do have that number for you, Ty. At least for movies that were from 2024 that you logged. And this was surprising to me. So we saw 98 total different movies between the two of us. I would have thought you saw more movies than I did. I have seen 80. You saw 58.
Oh, wow. So I probably saw 58 in theaters or ones that had just come out to streaming.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
you're more on top of it when it comes to stuff that's out and I kind of put off. You watch a good bit of the stuff that's already streamable.
Right.
And if I don't catch it in the theater, it doesn't make its way into my realm.
And if you look at like the blanks, like the inverse of the ones that like you saw that I didn't, it's exactly that.
That's what I figured.
Like Argyle, Madam Web, Mean Girls, Sasquatch Sunset, like a lot of these I didn't go to theaters to see. I saw what was just kind of hitting there, but that's kind of not a bad thing because between the two of us, we see different things.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the whole premise of our show. It's, if you tell me not to see it, I won't go see it. And if I tell you it's not worth your time, you don't see it either.
Exactly.
Right.
So 80 for me, 50 for you. So with that in mind, this ended up shifting a good bit throughout the year. It changed right at the end. But which of us had a higher average rating of movies, me or you?
It might be me.
It is you. It wasn't for a bit. I think up until like October or something. And then apparently I just saw a bunch of garbage and it really brought down my ratings.
I was going to say, so Complete Unknown probably shot mine back up.
Sure. Yeah, you had a few tens in there that really shot you up here near the end.
Yeah.
So your average movie rating for the year was 6.43.
Okay.
Mine was 5.66, so almost a whole point.
Wow.
Lower. I saw some garbage there at the end.
For sure. I definitely did too, and we'll talk about them.
Absolutely. Let's go with what was our lowest rated genre. So just to put all the genres out there on the table: action, adventure, comedy, drama, horror, musical, thriller. Which one did, on average, we rate the lowest?
I'm trying to think. I guess I would have to say, like, part of me wants to say drama just because if it didn't hit, it doesn't hit. And then part of me wants to say, like, action, too. Let's go action.
Action was our third highest.
Boy.
It was actually comedy.
Okay, I was going to say, There wasn't too many actual comedies this year.
Yeah, so we had some garbage comedy. That was our lowest score at 4.88.
Yeah, that makes sense. There
Not
wasn't too many. There wasn't too many funny, like just straight up comedies this year.
And then let's see how well we know yourself here, Ty. What
Hey,
was
God.
your lowest rated genre?
I'm thinking of the ones I gave a really bad rating to. It would be like adventure or something like that, maybe.
It is. It is adventure. 4.5.
I was
your
gonna say
average
I
rating.
was going through my list and earlier looking for like ones I gave really low scores to.
Mhm.
Some of them like stood out. Some of them were like horror. Some of them were like action. And then I was like adventure. Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and what really brought you down here is you didn't see that many adventure films. You saw 1, 2, 3.
That's what I figured too. Yeah, there couldn't
one
be that many.
was Dune, which you gave a perfect 10, but the other two were Madam Web and Damsel.
And those are both on my least favorite of the year list.
So that killed that score here.
Yep.
For me, it was horror at a 5.3.
Wow.
Was my lowest.
And it was a pretty strong year for horror too.
Yeah, I what brought that down? Let me take a look real quick. Horror for me. Oh yeah, I saw Under Paris, which was really bad. I saw The TV Glow.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw some stupid ones.
Yeah.
There was that weekend. I was home alone. No one was here, and I'm like, let me just burn through these garbage movies.
I remember now.
And they were in fact garbage. Last one here, Ty. What was our highest rated genre? And little bit of a spoiler here. There was a tie.
Okay.
There were two, so you have a better chance here. So action,
Maybe.
adventure, comedy, drama, horror, musical, thriller.
I'm thinking drama.
Drama. Yep, drama's one of them. Can you get the other?
Thriller?
Yep, nailed it.
Oh, nice. Okay,
So
sweet.
drama and thriller on between two of us, both of us. That is 6.04 was the average. Fun fact: it would have been musical if we removed Amelia Perez.
Oh, okay.
So because there were only two, is that and Wicked.
Wicked, right.
And we both really highly rated that. So for me, mine was Thriller at a 6.2. That was my highest. Ty, do you know your highest?
Part of me wants to say horror because I've seen so many of them.
It was not. It was not horror.
Okay. Let's
Horror
think.
was your third highest.
Third highest. Let's think. What else did I give really good? Drama?
It was drama. You love
Okay.
your drama movies.
I was gonna say.
9.3
Wow.
is your average drama rating. So let me just look at your drama ratings. So Bike Riders,
Yep, that's what I
DE.
figured.
Love Lives Bleeding, A Complete Unknown, Honora. That was it.
All
So
bangers.
all of those
Bangers.
were just huge.
Yeah, I mean those. Yeah, that explains it all.
Awesome. So there you go. That is our the numbers, the facts of our ratings through this year.
The numbers with Billy.
The numbers with Billy, yeah. But now, Ty, it is finally time to go into our awards of the year. We have a few new coming categories here that we will get through first, actually. So let's do, for most of these, I have a pick, you have a pick, and then we actually have a consensus based on the numbers, which was our favorite. But these first few, there is no overall winner. It is just my pick and your pick. So for biggest surprise, Ty, I'll let you take it away. What did you have for your biggest surprise?
It came down to two for me, and then I thought about it, and this one is what it has to be because I'm pretty sure I'm documented on this podcast saying I don't give a shit about this. It's Wicked.
Yeah.
Having never seen the original play and in the lead up to this movie, I said I don't care at all. Thought it would be a flop. One of the best movies of last year. It was fucking awesome. Great movie. Nothing bad to say about it, actually.
Yeah.
And
Ty, I had the same exact thing.
there we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we both just trashed it at one point. We're like, who even cares? This movie's going to flop. It's going to suck. Awesome movie. The other one I had that was maybe a contender for biggest surprise was A Complete Unknown. Just because despite the amazing critical response going into it, I wasn't a big Bob Dylan guy. And then that all changed because of how much I like that movie now. I'm a huge Bob Dylan guy now. Huge.
Okay. So, that, my reason it was a surprise for me was I have seen the musical, so I knew the substance.
Mhm.
I just didn't expect them to execute as well as they did. So when we finally sat down, watched it, I'm like, oh man, this fucking rules.
Yeah.
So big surprise.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Next category here, biggest letdown. So, Ty, I can kick this one off here. For me, it was Joker 2. Man, the hype from the first one going into this one was definitely way up there. When it was announced it was going to be a quote unquote musical and Lady Gaga was going to be in it, I did honestly pull me away. I got worried, but the anticipation was still there for this film. Was still wanted to see it and everything. It finally came out. It was getting ripped to shreds. I'm like, oh no. And I think it wasn't until like a month or so later that I actually did see it to confirm those doubts. And it was for me the biggest letdown here. I tried to find and see if there was going to be something else that could really take the cake away from Joker 2. But there really wasn't, and I think that is because not a lot of these films did I have such high expectations going in.
I was thinking of
Joker 2. Yeah,
I was thinking about this. If I would have seen Joker 2, it would have definitely been that for me too.
Yeah.
This one was kind of tough for me. I think I'm going to settle on Terrifier 3 just because following the success of 2, I thought for sure was going to be a step up and be even better, but it really ended up feeling like a step down. And then 2 more, In Violent Nature, I thought was going to be like a solid horror movie, and it ended up just being shit walking through the woods.
Yeah.
And then one that was kind of like a little bit of a letdown, just considering the cast and the director, Ungentlemanly Warfare.
That's fair. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like one of my favorites of the year, and it ended up kind of just being kind of meh. I expected more from it. So it's kind of like Joker in that aspect, but I think ultimately it comes down to Joker 3 or Terrifier 3. So I guess the clowns do take that category.
That's actually a really good point. I didn't realize. Yeah. No more clowns. Clowns are problematic.
They are.
All right, another new award here. This one I actually created just for this movie I saw. It is the Nobody Asked for This award. Essentially, it is a film that they put out here, likely was in our unanticipated list, but they still made the movie despite everyone in the world being like, yeah, we don't want to see this. They still push it through. And for me, that was Mufasa. Just no one wanted this. The age group for The Lion King when it first came out was us. And we've already had Lion King 2. I think we probably even had Lion King 3. We had the Lion King quote unquote live action remake because they're not actually real animals. It's just CGI. No one after that one, I think everyone was kind of over it.
Yeah.
But they threw it in our face. They're like, oh, Beyonce's in it. And oh shit, Donald Glover is in it. But they're actually in it for maybe 2 minutes tops. And they just trick everyone into seeing it. So I don't think anyone wanted to see that movie, including me, even though I did. So Mufasa, this category and trophy was made for you. Congratulations.
This one ultimately came down to 2 things for me. Would I rather see a movie about Sasquatches, or would I rather see a movie about how the Pop-Tart was made? And the award for Nobody Asked for This goes to the fucking Jerry Seinfeld Unfrosted Pop-Tart movie. You gotta say more. I mean, how did this get made? I mean, like, what a terrible premise for a movie. Nothing about it was good. Never mind. I'll talk more about it in a little bit, I'm sure. But nobody asked for the Unfrosted Pop-Tart movie.
Did Jerry Seinfeld just like suck at making movies?
For sure. I mean, if we look at his resume, I think he's got this in B Movie.
Yeah, I don't know what else he has. I don't even know.
B Movie's just been memed to shit too. So
Exactly. It's like,
yeah.
Oh god. Yeah. So maybe we just stay away from his films here, because I'm trying to look back. I mean, as a lead actor, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's fucking Unfrosted and B Movie. So good God.
I mean, what a run. A movie about bees and a movie about Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. Still one of the richest comedians alive.
Yep. I love the show. I love him. Yeah, he's the shit, but not a good movie guy.
He turned 70 this year? He does. Holy shit.
Wow. I did not know that. I knew he was a little bit older, but yeah, I did not know he's turning 70.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. All right. Next award here. Another new one. Most unique. So you asked me, Ty, about the Memoir of a Snail. This, it was good. First off, I should just say I gave it an 8 out of 10. And it was definitely the most unique. It was that kind of stop motion animation, like the weird Wallace and Gromit type stuff. And it had a vibe of shit. What the hell's Edward Scissorhands corpse? Whatever. What the fuck's that?
Yeah.
What's that guy's name that makes all that?
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Yeah, Tim Burton. I don't like him. but it had kind of that kind of like emo feel to it. Like I can see these characters being on a shirt at Hot Topic, but the story is just heartbreaking. It is not a fun movie, and it's animated, and there are parts that you will definitely laugh, but the entire movie is just about heartbreak. It's about a girl who's bullied because she has a hair lip, and her brother is like her only friend other than these snails. Her mom dies giving birth to them. Their dad dies randomly, and then they get split up into different foster homes.
Oh my.
And everything is just super fucking depressing.
It sounds like it.
But you love it. It's really good. The story is really good. It has that dark humor to it. The girl is obsessed with snails. She looks like a snail. She wears a hat of like snail eyes and everything, like snails. So it's fucking weird. It's super weird. But that's what makes it the winner of this most unique category. Definitely worth a watch. I was surprised to see it was rated R. Also, you get some nude clay people. It's not even like swearing or anything. There's just like death and nudity.
My gosh, that's actually hilarious.
Yeah,
I might have to watch this.
It's worth it. It's a good watch.
I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I haven't seen like what it looks like at all, but yeah, this is I want to watch it. Was it on our buddy website?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, you can say hi to them.
Watch that. Sweet.
The writer director he had another movie that I think also might have won an Oscar. That was a similar animation style. I think it was just called like Ben and Susie or something. I'll try to find it here. But this guy seems to make a movie every like 8 years or something, and they turn out pretty good. I'll look for that movie, but that's what wins most unique for me.
I was going to say yours is already way more unique than mine. Mine, I was trying to think about what was like the most unique one, and I couldn't really like pinpoint one. So I just ended up on Late Night with the Devil because to me, it was one of the best horror movies of the year, and it felt like you're watching it all play out on a late night TV show. And a lot of other horror movies, it didn't really feel like it was just definitely unique in that aspect of being a horror movie. So that's how I ended up on my most unique. Not that unique compared to like Memoir of a Snail, but unique in the horror genre that you're watching it unfold on a late night TV show.
Yeah, I like that. Mary and Max was this guy's other film. It is currently 203 on IMDb's top 250. Was it nominated for any? No, wasn't nominated for any big rewards, but it has a really good rating here of 8.1 on IMDb, 72 on Metacritic.
Oh, okay.
Same exact style, that stop motion. Next one here, Best Twist. I'll let you go first on this one.
Yeah, this we kind of talked about right before we started. I think for me, it ended up being in Longlegs whenever he just straight up kills himself. Yeah, he's getting interrogated by the police, and he just violently kills himself by smacking his own head on the table until he dies. Yeah, so that was the biggest twist to me. I for sure thought that he would, I don't know, get killed by police or kill himself some other way, maybe, but never in an interrogation room by smacking his head repeatedly on a metal table.
I am in the same exact boat here with you, Ty. That was a good twist. I also think a good twist from that was he lived in her fucking basement.
Yeah, that was way more of a twist too. That was actually probably the best twist, but yeah.
But both from Longlegs. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Longlegs has just been nominated for all kinds of shit this year. And well deserving.
Except no Oscars, right?
No Oscars, no. It's definitely
they're a joke.
By us nominated, but by everybody else, nothing. Which
what the shit?
I was trying to think of movies that had twists this year, and there might not really be too many.
Wasn't a ton.
Even like Trap, which we saw was an M. Night movie, there wasn't really a big twist. The twist was like he was the killer, I guess.
Yeah, and that was in your
face. At the end. Yeah, it was like kind of obvious.
Yeah. Ty, I think that's kind of a good segue into our category winners. So genre winners here. These are the ones that both you and I will have a say in who we think for each genre. And then we actually have a consensus winner. And Ty, for me, it was Longlegs.
Yeah, me too. Definitely goes without saying. It was my favorite horror movie of the year. Well deserving.
There you go. And
the year loaded up with it.
Yeah, it actually had competition. I think the first year we did the show, there was no competition.
Yeah. What was that one? Refresh my memory.
Or Saw X.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Saw X. Second was Infinity Pool.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. So, of course, if we both have that as our top, that makes it the consensus winner. long
We're
legs.
probably going to have a lot of these consensus here.
I think so too. I tried to kind of order it in where I think we might not, but let's find out. Best comedy, I have Thelma, which surprised the hell out of me because, and let me kind of say this. When we categorize these films, we only choose one category for them in terms of genre. Now, of course, movies can have multiple genres, but we pick the one that's kind of the most prevalent. So I think if we did like the cross genre thing, Deadpool would have
I was
probably
going to say, yeah.
done this, but for pure comedy, I do have Thelma, which is a massive surprise.
Right. And I think that actually has to be mine too, just because it's one of the more like comedic films of the year. There wasn't really too much competition as far as that goes. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine's more of an action movie than a comedy movie. So I would definitely go with Thelma on this one too.
All right, perfect. So consensus, Thelma for best comedy, and we go right into it for best action. I have Deadpool and Wolverine.
I do too. Yep. Like I said, I think that was definitely the most like, I'm looking through my list now. The most action-packed of the year for sure. Or straight up action at least. It was better than like Roadhouse. So I mean, trying to think if there's anything close in like action. Yeah, I mean it was better than Godzilla and Kong.
Yeah.
And Dune is an adventure movie, and so yeah, I would have to say Deadpool and Wolverine too.
Awesome. Now, this is where I think we start to do our splits here, Ty. Best adventure. For myself, we talked about it a lot. I had The Wild Robot. This movie, I talked about it a lot of times. I really did enjoy it. It is an animated film, but it is also an adventure film. And I didn't want to have just an animation category like these award shows do, because I don't think that's a fair way to break it up, because The Wild Robot and Memoir of a Snail, both animated, very different movies. And I think it makes more sense to separate them into the overarching feel of the film. So I did have Wild Robot here for my best adventure.
Okay, and for mine, it stands that it is still, in my book, the odds-on favorite for best of the year. It's still Dune 2.
There you go. And Ty, that actually, consensus-wise, I think maybe because you didn't see The Wild Robot, but who knows? Even if you did, Dune 2 is our consensus best on best adventure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think I don't really know how many more adventure movies I've seen throughout the year, but I think it just takes the cake. It was a 10.
Which is funny because adventure was your lowest rated genre, because you only saw shitty adventures after Dune 2. Dune 2. Like, you had Transformers 1, The Wild Robot, even the new Sonic was pretty solid. Overall, Dune 2, I think it's deserved. I have no argument against that.
Right.
I mean, it's up for Best Picture, right? So
yeah, it is. Yeah,
it says something. Even though they snubbed old Villanueva, that's
Villeneuve. I think Villeneuve. It's something like that.
Yeah, Villanueva's our old lineman.
Big Al.
Big Al. All right, another one here. Best drama. So this is shocking to me, Ty, but I just watched a movie last night. But Memoir of a Snail is going to end up being my best drama.
Memoir of a Snail is going on a generational run right now.
Absolutely crazy that it made it here, because I mean, I was eventually going to watch it, but the timing on it was a 2024 movie technically. So Memoir of a Snail comes in and sneaks past what was in second place for me was The Bike Riders. So that ended up surpassing that and getting best drama for me.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it came down to the next movie. The only other movie I gave a 10 to this year, and that's A Complete Unknown. A lot, like I said, a loaded year for drama too. I've seen a lot of good drama movies, but this one, it stuck out to me the most. I love James Mangold, the way he makes a biopic. I mean, this and Walk the Line. Tim Chalamet, love this movie. Best drama to me.
All right, Ty, and this is wild. 3 different winners from you, me, and the consensus. The consensus winner ended up being The Bike Riders.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it is likely because, I'm sorry, I watched Memoir of a Snail 2 nights ago. I watched A Complete Unknown last night.
Okay.
And I didn't not like. I gave it a 7. It was not my favorite, but it was a good film. Music, like you said, kicks ass. It's weird because I was the same as you, like not the biggest Bob Dylan fan, but when you hear his songs, you're like, oh yeah, I know this. Even though you would never click or go on Apple or Spotify and search them. But now you do. I did the same thing. Now I'm rocking the Bob Dylan while I'm driving down the highway.
Oh, I've been listening to it nonstop. Tay's sick of it.
It tastes sick of it. Hell yeah.
I have 3 of his vinyls now, and I got the book too.
Hell yeah.
I want to keep buying more vinyls to add to my collection because they're just so good. They sound
It's a cool
so
thing
good.
to get into.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, 3 different winners here. I don't, I while you didn't see Memoir of a Snail, I think it wouldn't matter.
Mhm.
I don't think it would get a 10.
Right. I will
like
watch this movie for sure.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one, and it's quick. I think it's only like an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, it's great then.
But yeah, very, very good. All right, Ty, it's not really a winner. It's more of just like a interesting fact here. So last year we did, what was our biggest difference in ratings? And last year it was bottoms.
Oh, okay.
We had a separation of 6 points here. This year it's a Nora. We have a difference of 7.5.
7.5.
You gave it a 9.5. I gave it a 2.
2.
I
didn't know
that. And like, look, let me try to plead my case here because I get it. I get the appeal, but nothing happened. Like she went from being a whore to being a whore.
Yeah.
There is no character progression made from this girl. Super fun seeing the nakedness, the banging, all that. I get it. But porn's out there. I can just go look at that. Like I don't know. Whatever it was, I watched it with Sophie. And
did she like it or did she hate it?
No, she was the same boat. I think she liked it more than I did.
Yeah.
But it was just like, okay, I need something more to happen here. And I was thinking, she was going to put up more of a fight. I didn't expect like most of the middle of the movie to be them looking for this dude.
Right. I did think there was going to be more to it than that. And I will say my score is mostly because of the performance from her and from what's his face. I can't remember his name in the movie. I thought it was good though, nonetheless. I can see how you wouldn't like this. And I did think that there was going to be something that happened. People were going to die or something like that. Pretty much just ended up just like she marries the guy. They get into a fight or whatever, and he runs away, and then they try to find him, and then they get the marriage and all. And that's pretty much the movie.
Yeah, I had some crack ups, here and there when she was like fighting the dudes. That was pretty funny. But like, I think
he's a badass.
I think I had it at like 3 or 4. And then when at the end, she's just like, oh yeah, I'm still a fucking skank, and bangs the dude in the car.
Yeah.
I was like, what? So wait, you're going back to doing what you were doing.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild.
The way to end the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our biggest disagreement. Other than that,
quite a biggie.
There weren't many that we were super far away on with each other. The other one was the Fall Guy.
Okay.
And that was a 5.3 difference. And I think we had our discussion whenever, because we both saw it the same weekend.
Yeah.
So I think we had that discussion then. But yeah, Nora going to take it for biggest disagreement. Let's see if it wins Best Picture, because it might.
It very well could. I really don't know what's going to win Best Picture at this point.
I'd rather take Nora than Amelia Perez.
For sure. If that movie wins Best Picture, I will never give an ounce of my attention to Oscars ever again.
Yeah. Everyone just needs to come watch us then.
Right, for sure. At that point, come on. We do tell the truth, brother.
But let's get into the bad, our 5 worst here. If you want to go, I think we did it last time. We would go back 1 and 1.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's
start off at 5 to 1.
Exactly.
Okay. We starting off at best or worst?
The best of the worst.
Oh, the best of the worst. So, okay.
So if you want to take it away first, and then I'll just call out if I had it too.
The best of the. So my number 1 worst or my number 5 worst?
Number 5 worst. So not the bottom one. Yeah.
Number 5 is Madam Web, which I don't know if you saw it or not.
I didn't. You took me away from it.
I think it was maybe the potentially worst written movie in history. And like, I get it at this point, it's like a meme to make fun of it, but like, and I did see it knowing that it sucked, but it was just really, really bad. And Dakota Johnson should feel bad, and whoever is responsible for this movie should feel terrible. Even Sydney Sweeney couldn't save it.
I think it's up for, was it the Razzies? Which has it happened yet? March 1st. It will happen. So worst picture nominees: Borderlands, Joker 2, Madam Web, Megalopolis, and Reagan. I didn't see Reagan.
I didn't either. I'll have to get some coverage on the Razzies because that's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst actor. Yeah, these are actually really fun. We should definitely talk
That
about
rules. That rules. We'll have to watch it and then just do it.
For me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I had a lot of twos.
I was gonna say I think this movie was like a 2 something for me, 2.5 maybe.
Yeah.
So it's all gonna get worse from there.
That's crazy. I had a lot of twos, so I had to go and like order through them. But the one that kind of sticks out here is going to be My Old Ass, which I don't think you saw that one either. But that was with Aubrey Plaza, where it's not actually her. She's in it for 5 minutes, maybe.
Oh yeah,
And then it just turns out to be a teenage, I'm having my period on drugs type of movie. And it was just stupid. No reason for anyone to see it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, that'll be number 5 of the best of the worst or whatever the fuck. So, Ty, what's your next one?
Next up, we have Damsel, and that's the Millie Bobby Brown versus the Zesty Dragon on Netflix joint. It was just awful. I hated everything about it. The dragon was and is the bane of my existence. Netflix original or not, it was not worth my time. Somehow has a better Metascore than Sasquatch Sunset in looking this up. And let me see. I think I gave this movie a 2.5, which I think I also I must have gave Madam Web a little bit higher than that. Madam Web, I must have gave I gave a 2 to Madam Web. So, okay, right. We're getting better. Never mind. Wait, no, we should be getting worse.
No, we should be
either way, they were close. This movie was terrible.
I'm cracking up at the Zesty Dragon. That's really good. Because I didn't see that one either. Which is kind of nice that we kind of like turned each other off of these films, so we didn't waste our time. Well, one of us did, but yeah, the Zesty Dragon. That's going in the back of my head for a bit.
Its voice was just something else, man, and it didn't even look like a dragon. It was just fucked up.
Yeah, now I gotta look it up. I gotta see what that fucker looks like. All right, next here on my list, it is gonna be Mufasa. We talked about it earlier. Nobody wanted this movie. The animation, it had some insane budget. Like I think it was like $300 million.
Oh my.
And it looked like PlayStation 2 CGI. Like it was absolute trash how this movie looked, and there's no excuse for it to look the way it did. $200 million budget. It did make its money back 3 times over. That's fucking sad.
Holy shit.
Fucking Disney.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, $200 million budget. I have no idea where that money went. I understand from what I've heard from Game of Thrones and why they stopped showing the direwolves is that the fur is expensive to animate, which is also, now that I'm thinking about it and looking at these pictures again, they made these lions it's like they're shaved. And so they have to
say, like they look like groomed.
Yeah.
Yeah, very weird.
So there you go. I understand that's expensive. If it's expensive, don't fucking do it. It's gonna look bad. But yeah, that movie was big poo poo, and is I guess is number 4 on my bottom 5. It's weird thinking this way.
Yeah. Next for me, we're gonna get some more that we started to talk about a good bit earlier, but it was Sasquatch Sunset. I'm never gonna get that hour and 28 minutes back of my life. Just bad. That's all there is to say about it.
Was that Jesse? What's his face?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Eisenberg, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, it's him. In a completely unrecognizable Sasquatch suit.
Beautiful. Next one here for me is going to be Flow. I don't think I talked about this on the show because I think I tried to watch it between the last episode and this one. This is my highest liked review on Letterboxd.
Oh, wow.
I keep getting likes on it. Let me just...
Did you tag it? I'm starting to tag my post now so that I get some recognition.
Yeah. I keep getting little notifications about it. People liking my review. Let me just pull that up. I'm pretty sure I remember it, but I don't want to screw it up. Here we go. Flow, 1 star. 5 million euro budget because it's European. 3.4999 went to the water animation, 100 euros to everything else. The story is fine enough, but the animation looks like it was made with free 3D assets. This one, best animated feature, ... The wild robot existed this past year too, ...
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's about a cat, end of the world type apocalypse, Noah's Ark fucking flood. it bands together with like a capybara, a dog, and a bird to like build a
Mm-hmm.
raft to survive. And the animation just looks garbage.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. That'll really
It's
pay off.
like a middle school kid learning animation type deal. And like, I think they're getting a lot of recognition because they did the animation in Blender, which is a free animation tool. I don't care. I do not care. You had a €3.5 million budget and you're using a free tool. Where the fuck did that money go? It's not to the
Yeah.
actors. There's no voice acting. It's just animal noises. So like that really bothers me, and the amount of recognition it's getting over the Wild Robot, even Transformers, and I think Memoir of the Snail, they put it together in like best animated film. And I think that's actually how I heard about Memoir of a Snail. Absolute nonsense. I cannot stand it. I hate that it's nominated for an Oscar as well. And if it wins, like, again, that's just yet another step away from the Oscars we got to take.
Right. Yeah. I mean, geez, oh man, I'm not gonna watch that one.
No, please don't.
My second worst of the worst, best of the worst, I don't know, is Unfrosted. Like I said, why was this made? None of this is funny or clever. It's got Amy Schumer in it. I guess they just let Jerry Seinfeld make whatever he wants, and he really likes Pop-Tarts. I don't know. It was awful. Terrible, terrible, terrible movie.
Damn, he just likes wasting his money.
Yeah,
He has enough.
he definitely does. Damn near a billionaire, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Crazy. The next two are technically tied because I didn't go any lower than a 1, but my first one of the year was Challengers.
Hey.
This probably was my runner-up for biggest disappointment or biggest letdown. And maybe could have won over Joker 2. I think the reason I didn't have it win over Joker 2 was just because I knew I already liked the previous Joker. Challengers was just getting steam blown up its ass by everyone in the world. And I'm like, all right, sick, Zendaya getting fucking Eiffel Tower, whatever. That sounds okay. And there was not enough of that and too much tennis. No, tennis is more interesting, which is saying a lot because tennis is boring. So this was just a terrible movie that made me more angry the further we got into it. I don't know how I ended up finishing this movie. Usually when I rate a movie a 1, that indicates I didn't finish it. We finished this movie.
Like, still just bad.
I was just angry the entire time. I think we had it like on the TV when we were staying at my mom's and we were just watching in bed, and I didn't feel like getting up to turn everything off because the remote didn't work. So I had it from my laptop to the TV, and I didn't want to get up and do all that. I'm like, fuck it, we're just watching it. Absolute garbage. 1 out of 10. This was the movie that kind of ruined Zendaya for me. Now we're being forced to see her in a lot of different things. Now she's going to be in Nolan's next film. Hopefully he can fix her. But we'll find out.
For me, my least favorite movie, my worst of the year, I trashed it a couple episodes ago, is Homestead. Technically, it would be tied with Unfrosted, which I didn't even finish. This movie I did finish, and I've made it clear how much I despise it and the company behind it and everybody associated with it at this point. If our scale went into the negatives, this would take the cake. Worst movie of the year by far is Homestead for me. Fuck that movie.
I told people at my work about this movie and what you said about it, and it's just a giant advertisement to get donations. It's like they're walking around in like a church with like the pans, like, money for Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it felt like. I had to look up the end of the film, Ty, because I'm like, no fucking way. And so like, you go and you watch those streams and it's, the guy with the camcorder in there. Yeah. I never do this. I never watch movies like this, by the way. I just had to do it for Homestead. I'm all about spending money for these movies that deserve it. But yeah, it's just people in the theater like, what the fuck? They're pissed.
Yeah. Dude, that's hilarious. It was so bad. Just terrible. Anything that comes up with a QR code at the end that expects you to give money to, that you just paid money to see, is inexcusable.
Yeah, fuck yourself. And then I'll close it out here. Said it already. Emilia Perez is the worst movie on my list here. I did not finish it. I refused to finish it. I made it, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes in before I'm like, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this to myself? This is not, I'm 31. I'm Half-Life. No, probably, hopefully not. But, I start to value my time a bit more as we get older. My bones will creak and crack and everything. I'm not watching Amelia Perez is what I say.
Yep.
Yeah, that ended up being my worst of the year. Let's get to the consensus for our worst movies of the year. A lot of them we didn't both see, so this is a little awkward, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Challengers, Amelia Perez, both of those are in the bottom 5. Homestead Unfrosted, also in the bottom 5. The only other one that made it here into the bottom 5, Ty, Drugstore June. And I don't
Oh,
remember that movie at all.
I forgot all about that movie. I quit out of it midway through. I just know that it had Bobby Lee in it, so I gave it a watch, and it had another comedian. Terrible fucking
Big mistake.
just ridiculous movie. That should have made my list on somewhere there, but I just forgot all about it too.
It made it here on the consensus.
Good. It's well deserving of being a top 5 consensus worst.
All right, Ty, now let's go through our top 5, the big winners of the year. I was actually surprised because I went through, the films that I had. I usually do, round numbers for the most part. But when it came time to like actually rank everything, I'm like, okay, I got to put some decimals in here. That way we have an actual winner and there's going to be no ties. So for me, number 5 on my top 5. Let me make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I did count correct. Surprising enough, Thelma. Ends up at number 5 for my top 5. I'm just really surprised there because I think if I watched it again, it's not a movie that you can just keep rewatching. It wasn't like that. But as a first time watch, it was refreshing, is what I'll call it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Thelma ended up at number 5 on my list.
Number 5 for me was one I just saw last weekend, I think, and it was a doozy. It was The Brutalist. Definitely well deserving of all the praise it's getting. 3 hours and 45 minutes is no joke at the theater. It had a freaking intermission, 15-minute intermission, but the story was awesome. And the guy that's nominated for Best Supporting Actor for it, what the hell is his name? Guy
Pearce?
Guy Pearce, yeah. He probably should win that category. He's well deserving. That movie was really, really good. I think I gave it a 9.2. Let me check here. 9.2, yeah.
Awesome. Let me log that in so we can actually get that in our. I got to make sure I added Memoir of a Snail. I did. Okay. Alrighty. The Brutalist, number 5. Awesome.
I remember to
late.
update the freaking doc more.
Oh, it's all good. I usually pop in your numbers.
Oh, okay.
Right. Thelma was number 5 for me. Number 4, Wild Robot. So for my favorite, it won Best Adventure for me. And it will take 4th place here for my top movie overall. I don't know what else I can say about this film. I really enjoyed it. It's shorter. It is simple. It is just a robot taking care of a duck, wants to help it out to learn to fly for the South for the migrations or whatever. Pretty neat little story. Simple. Pedro Pascal, good enough voice acting, fun, heartfelt. Really liked it. I don't think I could say more about it.
Yeah. Number 4 for me is going to be one that wasn't as critically well received as others on this list, but I really liked it. I know you really liked it too. Tom Hardy's the man, Austin Butler's good, and it's The Bike Riders. We definitely compared it to other kind of like gangster movies, but with motorcycles in the past, and it definitely holds up. I haven't seen it since, and I think it would still hold up on a second rewatch, but really liked The Bike Riders. Number 4 for me, and I think I gave it a 3. So it's 1 point ahead of The Brutalist.
Very nice. Coming in at number 3, big surprise. Wicked makes it here at number 3 for me.
My number 3 here was Longlegs. Crazy that was like number 3 on the year, all things considered. But awesome movie. Loved it. I still haven't rewatched it either.
I did. I rewatched it maybe a month after I saw it in theaters. His brother came down. So I forced them to watch it. I'm like, you gotta watch it.
Did they like it?
Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Oh, yeah. They really liked it.
Yeah. I have it on Amazon. I bought it because I was like, I'm going to watch this all the time. I might as well just buy it. Yeah, I still haven't rewatched it, though. But number 3 for me, I think I gave it a 9.7.
Very nice.
Which is kind of high.
Perfect. Don't have to say much else. Longlegs is number 2 for me. Exact thing that you just said. Unique film. Very good for the horror genre, I think, because it's been so much of the same jump scary nonsense. Yeah, there's some jump scares in Longlegs, but it's not the main focus of the film. It's more about a creepy, eerie feeling. Like the first 2 minutes of the film, you don't even see his face except for
Right.
that like half a second. But
Yeah.
yeah, Longlegs kicked ass. That's number 2 for me.
Kicked freaking ass. I've recommended that movie to a lot of people this year. Really liked it. Number 2 for me, one of the 10s I gave out this year. Talked about it a lot today. We'll talk about it a lot forever. A Complete Unknown. Freaking great biopic. Introduced me to Bob Dylan. Bought the books, bought the record. That's all you got to say. It's a 10 for me.
And coming in at number 1 for me, which I did all the like ranking with my ties yesterday. And I was surprised to see this come out on top because I was expecting it to be Longlegs for as long as it did say up there. But Deadpool and Wolverine ends up at number 1 for me. And I do think that's surprising because I don't think about that movie as much as I think about Longlegs or the Long Robot or the Wild Robot.
Right.
But it was just good. You know, Deadpool 2 definitely took a dip. This brought it back up. All of the fan service with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, his 1990s outfit, bringing in the Human Torch when everyone thought it was going to be Captain America, Blade, Wesley Snipes. Yeah, I loved it. I love shit like that when it's done correctly. Like when you bring in like big name actors or things just for nostalgia purposes and don't actually do anything with it. Like they're there for like 2 minutes. They say like, and then they fuck off. That's stupid. These people were actually part of the movie. They were part of the gang, and it was just enjoyable, start to finish. I know we have shit about Ryan Reynolds coming out because his wife's a psycho, but I don't care. They make me laugh. This personal shit, whatever. I can separate the artist from the art.
For sure.
And that's what we get here for number 1 is Deadpool Wolverine for me.
Mine never changed throughout the year. If a few got close and one tied, but to me, my favorite and my best was still Dune Part 2. It was definitely an amazing cinematic achievement for Villeneuve and well deserving of all the praise it's received. It should have gone him a Best Actor nomination, and the fact that it didn't is really kind of fucked up. And it was one of the best movies to see in theater in a long time. So that was my number 1 on the year, Dune Part 2. I can't wait for Dune Messiah.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Even though Dune 2 did not make my top 5, it was still, like you said, it was a movie. Like it's a movie that you want to see in theaters because of how big it feels. I feel like we haven't had a lot of that, since the Avengers films.
Yeah.
There's not many movies that are like, you must see this in theaters. And this was absolutely one of them.
Definitely.
But let's run through our consensus top 5. I'm going to add a little asterisk to that because I'm actually going to do our top 6 and it'll make sense why. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine. I am putting that in there because you have not seen The Wild Robot.
All right. That's fair.
That is the only movie in here that's in the top 5 that you have not seen as well.
I do need to see that one. I have to watch it.
To do that, yeah.
Right.
So number 5 ends up being Thelma. Thelma is sneaky.
Very sneaky movie.
Awards. We both gave it a 9, so it sneaks in here at number 5.
Shout out Thelma.
Number 4, Dune 2. You have your 10 rating here. I ended up with a 8.4. That again, I added those decimals yesterday while doing my rankings. That was good enough to give it 4th place in our consensus. Number 3, and again, asterisk on this one because you haven't seen it, is going to be The Wild Robot. It's only here because I gave it a 9.2 and you haven't rated it, which makes it a 9.2.
Yep.
Kind of cheating there, shoehorning it in. But it's a kick-ass movie.
Right. Well deserving.
Number 2, Wicked. So Wicked comes in here. I gave it a 9.3. You gave it a 9.2, which is good enough for 2nd place. And no ties here. We had no ties for any of these scores, which is what I wanted to make sure didn't happen when I was doing my rankings. And then you can probably guess it. It's been number 1 overall for us since it came out. It has never changed. Longlegs gets one top movie of the year according to our consensus ratings.
Never would have thought, really, but that's really cool.
Yeah, it is interesting because, like, while, it was 3 for you, 2 for me, but overall it ends up at 1. And I think... being that I did watch it a 2nd time, I will say it was not nearly as good the 2nd time.
I'm sure.
Because you knew what was going to happen.
Right.
But I don't want to rate it based on that because that first feeling you get watching it in theaters. Yeah. I went to see this movie by myself.
Me too.
And it was fucking loud and it fucked you up.
The only other
Um,
one that stuck with me like that, and it was a really good movie, but it wasn't on any of my end of the year list, was Smile 2, because I saw that in
yeah,
the theater, and then I was for sure expecting people to be smiling at me whenever I was walking around Giant Eagle afterwards. Crazy.
yeah. Well, they did the that type of advertisement here in Austin.
Yeah, I
People
would
were
freak
standing in
out.
windows. I'm like, dude, fuck that.
I would be tripping out.
Ty, we did it. Another successful year. Again, thank you for doing this with me. I'm glad we said we were gonna do it. We fucking did it. We're
Yeah,
here.
I love it. It's a
Rules.
great hobby to have. We stick with it. We take some breaks every now and then if there hasn't been a lot of output. We
Yeah.
keep coming, and I love it.
So everyone's thank you for listening and stick around for another year here. Ty, I will say I have started on our website. We will be able to have a little website here. I want to make it as our own kind of rating website.
Yeah.
And it'll people can have their ratings and everything like they want, but it will
Hmm.
also have like my rating and your rating.
Oh,
So
okay.
and those will be like highlighted, be like, oh, Ty rates this movie, whatever. Dylan rates this,
Hmm.
whatever. This one, on Long Legs, best movie of 2024,
Yeah.
shit like that. I have started that process and I'm excited to get that out there eventually.
That is huge. We're gonna keep growing it. It's gonna
Big
be freaking
announcements.
awesome. Huge announcements. So more to come, everybody.
That'll do it, Ty. Any sign off you want to do? Any big sign offs? Any big Super Bowl predictions?
I hope they both lose.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Do a Bane.
I hope they
blow up the
both lose.
stadium.
Yeah.
God. All right, everyone. Bye bye.